What's up, YouTube? In this video, I'm going to talk about the 3 ways that you can increase your rate of return without taking more risk. All right, so when people try and chase a higher rate of return, they typically think that they have to take more risk. They get more invested in stocks or some sort of risky investment because they think the trade-off is a higher rate of return in the future. It's not always the case. There's 3 ways to really easily reduce your risk and increase your rate of return. And I give a really good example about this in my course, but let me just tell you the 3 ways that you can do this now. The first one is excess fees. I think when people put money into their qualified retirement account or any sort of investment with a money manager, they might say the manager is only taking 1% or 1.2% in fees every year, regardless if the account goes up or down. And then you see some advertisements where these companies say, look, when you do better, we do better. When your account goes up, we do better. So we have a vested interest in to see your account go up. But what they don't say is when your account goes down, they're still going to charge a fee. If you look at 1 or 1.2% of an account value and you do the math over 30 years, let's say you start investing at 35 and you get to 65 and you go to retire, the advisor doesn't stop charging you fees in the 35th year or the 30th year when you turn 65. They're going to charge you fees every year until you're gone. And then when you're gone, whoever inherits the account, if the money stays with that money manager, they're still charging fees. So if you add up that 1% over your lifetime, the costs are massive. So if you can reduce the fees that you pay, your rate of return immediately will go up. The second way to increase your rate of return is to minimize the volatility. A lot of people think that they're going to invest for the long run. So they put money in and then they hope the account goes up, because what does every money manager say? Look, over the long run, the market will go up, until it doesn't. What if someone retired in 2000 and then the crash happened from the tech bubble? Or if somebody retired in 2006 and then they lived through 2008 and 2009 when the market went down so much? Having your money invested in the down times can destroy your rate of return. Ideally, you have uncorrelated assets. So when the market does go down or correct itself, you have dry powder or access to capital elsewhere, and then buy when the market is down, rather than just buying and holding for this long run where the average might be 6, 7, 8%. I would rather, when the market drops 20%, then go buy and ride the wave back up. So you do not have to have your money in the market in the long run going up and down, hoping that it comes out on better in the end. So by minimizing those dips, you will massively increase your rate of return. And honestly, it becomes quite more fun because you're not sitting there watching the market go up and down. Nobody likes to lose money. And when advisors say when the market's down, now's the time to put money in, they're right. The time to buy is when the market is down. The challenge is when people save for retirement, they're just putting money in every paycheck and they're just watching the market go up and down. They're not invested in the ups and downs. They're just riding the wave for the long run. And who loves it? The financial industry, because they get to charge a fee every year, regardless of what's happening in the account. It's not set up to help the consumer. It's set up to help the advisor. And the final way to maximize your rate of return, and this one's a good one, minimize your exposure to unnecessary taxation. Seriously, understanding how to legally avoid unnecessary taxes can be massive for your rate of return. Instead of chasing a 9% rate of return taxable, what if you just got a 6 or 7% rate of return tax exempt? Now the IRS doesn't take the fun out of your gains. In understanding how income can trigger multiple taxes in the future is also huge. I'm sure people watching this are hoping to get Social Security when they go to retire. And people say things like, look, Social Security is probably not going to be there when I go to retire. It will be there, but it's not going to be there for people that show a heavy income or a large income, because they tax it. If you show income in retirement above a certain level, up to 85% of your Social Security can be taxable as income at whatever tax bracket you land in, whatever the government decides to charge you the year that you go to retire. So learning how to minimize those future taxes is massive when it comes to understanding how to increase your rate of return. So remember, you do not have to take more risk to increase your rate of return. Avoid the losses. And I'll have more videos on here too, explaining how you can avoid those losses and giving real life examples for business owners, how they can maximize their rate of return just by getting rid of the downside. Enjoy.